All righty, everybody. It is 6 o'clock, or a couple seconds before 6 o'clock, and we wanted to give you one final update for the Monday night before everybody went off to bed, and hopefully everybody's prepared or off the island or making final preparations for Hurricane Milton, which seems to just have gotten more powerful as the hours went on, and is certainly going to bring us some significant storm surge by all accounts. So, Dan, anything you want to start off with?
Yeah, I mean, people talk a lot of been. There's been a lot of talk the last couple hours about the cone and where you see that. That cone that you see on the news. That's just where landfall can be. That doesn't count the storm surge. Just a report that just came out 15, 20 minutes ago said that although it may have ticked a little bit north, our storm surge has increased. So don't be too concerned with where that cone shows. It's the storm surge that's going to be really detrimental to us. What's going to happen between tonight and tomorrow, we don't know. But I think by 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, we should have a pretty good understanding. By then, it should have cleared the Yucatan Peninsula and be in the Gulf fully, because it looks like right now it's going to kind of clip that top end there by Cancun. So once it makes it past that and it fully gets in the Gulf, we'll get a better idea in the morning of where it's going to go. But people are heeding the warning to get off island. I just got back home a few minutes ago. A lot of the debris is cleaned up. Most people are gone. Obviously, there's still some people that are making last minute preparations to get off the island, but for the most part, it's pretty quiet. There are a lot of Lee County Sheriff's Office officers down here. So again, if you're thinking about coming to do something bad, it's probably not a good idea. They're everywhere. Everything's pretty much closed up. There's still people trying to pile some sand in the back of their trucks to do what they need to do. But for the most part, it's quieting down a little bit, and looks like it's we get the worst of it, but you're going to start seeing effects of it on Tuesday night. So
Yep.
if you aren't out tonight, make sure you're gone by tomorrow morning.
Yeah, and if there's anything anybody needs, like final preparations, saw that Jane, a plumber, was looking for somebody to help her get her trailer off, and Ron was trying to get some help moving his some of his stuff up to a second floor. And I mean, right now is the time to ask if you need help with something, if if you're trying to make final preparations so you can get off the island and you're worried about moving stuff up. I know they're not supposed to be there, but I know there are a couple of people that just want to help so that everybody can get to safety, and then everybody can quickly get off the island, even though they're supposed to be off at
Yeah, I really want to hammer home what I've been trying to say all day. Is this storm surge may not be as bad as Ian, but those of us that live halfway down a side street, you're going to see something a little bit different that you didn't see during Ian if you were here. You saw water, obviously, but you didn't see the wave action. You didn't see the ripples. And without all the houses that are along Estero Boulevard, without some of the structures that aren't back, that's going to move further inland on the island. You're going to see some more wave action down the side streets a little further than you did before, which I don't think people are thinking about. It's they're predicting 6 to 10 feet. If you just think about 10 feet, and then you add 125 to 160 mile an hour winds that they're predicting on top of that, that's some pretty significant wave action. And then depending on the time it makes landfall and where we're at on that dirty side of the storm, you could be potentially another 3 feet of tide. So this is going to be very significant, and it's going to thank a lot of every single person that has worked hard to get things off the island. Like I said, I just got back. I'm going to go back out after this is over and take a look again. And Andy's out running around too, and just to see what needs to be picked up. Our debris hauler people will be back again tomorrow until there's lightning or something where the winds pick up and they have to get off the island to get as much as we can before the storm. But I really want to thank everybody for heeding the warning and getting off island, because it's just the side streets that I've been able to drive down. Most people are gone.
Yep. And one of the things I wanted to mention, I did talk to the fire chief. He's been in and out of meetings all day, so we couldn't get him on live. But I did talk to the fire chief. if somebody calls 911 after 40-mile-an-hour winds, nobody's coming to rescue you. So that's another reason to get off the island. What happens is your phone call gets logged into some kind of system, and then when
Yep.
it's safe for the firefighters and the medics and the paramedics to go out and go on their calls, the calls are prioritized by obviously the most severe, and then other people are
Mhm.
worked in as they get around to it. So just another reason not to stay on the island, because if you get injured or something, and we saw how a lot of people got injured after the storm, trying to walk through stuff and debris and things like that. But you don't want to get stuck in water as it's creeping up on you because you thought your first floor house could withstand it with the storm surge. It's just wise to get off.
Yeah, and it all ties together. Um, After Ian, there were hundreds of service calls that the sheriff's office took to either for help or to find missing people, and they act on every single one of them along with the USAR teams and along with the fire district. They're searching all these properties, so they, like you said, they take that log and they go house by house until they find it. And the less houses they have to search, the faster we can get people back on the island.
Right.
So it all ties together. If you only have to search 20 houses because 20 people stayed versus 200 or 400, that all takes time, especially if there's debris piled on the road where they can't get by very easy. They got to walk to do all this stuff. So it's not just about protecting yourself. It's about protecting your neighbors, and it's about protecting your neighbor's property. Because if we have no calls for service after the storm, that's they can deem it safe. We don't have to search for people, and we can get people back to let them start the cleanup. So it all ties together, and if we all do what we're supposed to do, things can move as swiftly and as smooth as possible when you're dealing with something like this.
Yeah, and the other thing too is that if you decide to stay, let's say, and Kevin Guthrie said this in one of the press conferences that the governor had, who, by the way, is just doing a great job again with being organized and having things organized and letting people know how things are organized, and of course pushing people to evacuate. One of the things Kevin Guthrie said was that going up doesn't, you might not get, water. You might not be swimming in water, but if you go up, the elevators aren't going to work. The toilets aren't going to work. It's going to be a miserable X number of days until who knows when. There were a lot of those situations where people were stuck in houses and condos, after Ian, and they just had nothing. They had no way to take a shower or flush the toilet, or you run out of food because nothing's open, and so you just want to avoid that.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you from personal experience, seeing people that were stuck up on higher levels of condo, because yes, technically you're going to be safe up there, or you sure hope you're safe up there. You're going to survive the storm. Most people forget what happens after the storm. It took 4 days for rescue people to get down to the south end to start helping people. They were running out of water. They were running out of food. They didn't have their medications. Prepare for 3 days of medication. Well, it took 4 and 5 days just to get to them. So these are all things that you need to think about. You may be safe from the water, and you may be safe from the surge. There were steps that were washed out after Hurricane Ian on some of these condos where people couldn't get down. And when search and rescue could get there with the ladders, people were deathly afraid to climb over the railing to climb down a ladder 30, 40, 50 feet.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just surviving the storm, it's the aftermath. I can tell you from personal experience, the aftermath is much harder mentally, physically. I mean, there's no food, there's no water, there's no running water, there's no toilets, there's no showers, your clothes are gone. It's not a pleasant experience. And by the time that happens, it's too late. And you think back, and then you start second guessing yourself, and you think, I could have gone 15 miles inland and stayed at a friend's or stayed at a
Mm-hmm.
hotel. And yes, it's an inconvenience to be away from your home, but at least you're going to be refreshed. You're going to have your wits. And then what happens, Ed, is, you saw it too. When people start getting tired and they're dirty and they stink and they can't find a place to use the shower, you start getting grumpy, and you start
Yep.
getting, you lose your temper, and then things escalate. and all you had to do was go 15 miles inland, and none of that would happen.
Right.
And
And
the more people that do, go
the
ahead.
other thing too, in addition to the fact that, I mean, we're just assuming people are going to lose power. I don't know that anybody knows that that's going to be a fact until it happens or doesn't happen. But there was also a very spotty internet service, so it wasn't like you could
Cell service, yeah.
and cell service, and it wasn't like you could easily call somebody. And then you get your family and friends all freaked out because they're not sure if you're dead or alive because they can't reach you. And so not only are you stressed out because you're stuck, but your friends and family are stressed out because they're not sure if you're alive. So, I mean,
Yeah,
it's one day off. It sounds like it's going to be a 1 day event Wednesday. And then you guys have a procedure in place to get people back on the island with, whether they have their reentry passes or not. There's a way for them to get their reentry passes already set up. So it's already more organized than it was after Ian, where people had no clue. So it makes sense for them to be able to get back on the island. So they should get off the island feeling like they can get back to their house as quickly as possible.
Yeah, and just to touch on that again, we'll have someone at Target tomorrow from 8 to 12 to get residents, again, residents only. We'll be able to get their hurricane reentry passes tomorrow at Target on the north. I'm sorry, I meant to get the address for you. If you could post the address, that'd be great.
I got
for
it.
that Target. It's up by, it's up by, Ace Hardware, just north of Ace Hardware, and Terra Nostra,
Okay.
Italian place. That, and then on the south end of Bonita Beach Road, there will not be anyone there tomorrow, but we're hoping, depending on the weather, because now they're saying it's going to be late Wednesday into Thursday when this is going to be going by us. So it might be either late Thursday or potentially Friday. Someone will be at the Ace Hardware to be able to help you get your passes. Again, depending on what the storm surge does, where it hits, Bonita Beach Road could be closed and you can't get on the south end. Doesn't mean you can't go there to get your passes. Even if the island is closed for whatever reason, safety reasons that people can't get back on right away Friday morning, doesn't mean we won't be there to still get you your passes so that you're ready to get back on the island when it's safe to open back up the bridge. So we've got a plan in place. We're obviously in constant contact with the fire department, Lee County Sheriff's Office, and the county to get the most up-to-date information. But the important thing is to just get off the island and stay safe, and we'll get everybody back.
Yeah, and in all likely, I mean, they've already the county has already said A and B zones, which is basically anybody that's by water needs to evacuate. They want to
Yeah, pretty
evacuate.
much to 75 for the most part.
Yeah, and if it continues to look the way it's looking, they might extend that to another zone. So we'll just make sure that we carry the Lee County conference press conferences, and also we'll carry the governor's press conferences. I think he had 2 or 3 today. So
Yeah.
they're on top of everything, and I mean, all you can do is, evacuate to a safer place, and then just wait it out until it's all. I mean, everything's already closed on the beach. You got 7-Elevens closed. I think I'm not sure.
Publix is closed.
Okay.
Publix is closed. I just went by there. I didn't see. I don't think there's any restaurants open.
They're all closed.
that I know of. So I mean, there's really no reason to be here. Like I said, half of Lee County Sheriff's Office, I think, is down here on the island.
Good.
You can't go 2 blocks without seeing a sheriff's deputy. So they're doing what the Lee County Sheriff's Office always does, and protecting everything that they can protect. And tomorrow we'll get through tomorrow. We'll finish buttoning up what we need to button up with the town. We're going to be heading to the hotel as soon as this is over to get off the island, just like everyone else. So just take care of yourself and take care of your neighbors if you can help them at the last minute to get out. But when it starts to change and it starts to deteriorate, it's going to be too late. So really thankful that people have paid attention and listening. And there's no lack of information out there. Hopefully this time, between your show, our webpage, all the news outlets, we're trying to get everything out as we can. Since our last update, I haven't really had anything that was, I'm hearing this, what's the real thing? I haven't heard any of that since our last update, which is good. But if you do have a concern, either reach out to Ed or myself or one of the other council members for an update. Newton Park, when I went by, there were about 4 pipes that they were left to load in the back of the truck. The debris was gone. So anything that was there that people were worried about, there could potentially be a projectile has been removed. It's probably removed by now. I'll find out after this is over as we're driving off the island. But um, I think the staff has done a good job. I think people have been really good at keeping their patience and understanding that, this is a moving target. This one's a little bit different. We still don't know. That's the weird thing. We're 24 to 48 hours away from landfall, and we still don't know exactly what it's going to look like. Like I said, hopefully
the problem with that too is that we 2 years ago we heard it's going to Tampa, and we're here today that it's going to Tampa. So I don't think anybody is going for that.
I was trying to watch a little one of the Weather Channel, Fox Weather. I'm not exactly sure what channel it was, but I tried to catch a little bit, and they were very honest, just like we're trying to be. And we don't know. Until it clears that Yucatan Peninsula, we don't know exactly what it's going to do. But I feel pretty confident by between the 8 and 11 o'clock hour tomorrow, we'll have a better understanding of what we're really looking at as far as that cone of landfall and real surge predictions. But it's I think I heard them say that the eye is only about 10 miles, which it's not a very large storm, but it's going to have a huge impact. I mean, it's encompassing a lot of area and a lot of surge, and every storm's a little bit different. So sounds like everybody's been prepared, and we'll update again in the morning. Whenever you want to do another update, just let me know. We're going to try to pack some of our stuff up here tonight and get moving. So I won't have another update tonight unless something major changes. I'll certainly reach out and we'll get it out there. But
all right, Mayor.
Sounds
good. And we'll talk to you tomorrow and throughout the next few days.
You got it. Thanks, Ed.
All right. Mayor of Fort Myers Beach, Dan Allers. And folks, I know some of you have been asking and wondering, I am going to the beach to report starting tomorrow night. Kim is going to Africa right now. Anyway, I saw somebody, she's been watching the airports too. So far, Tampa and Orlando airports have closed. Her flight is tomorrow night at 6. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. But I am not taking my vehicle. I am in a secure building that's built to code, that is up high, and so I'm not gonna put my life in danger, but I am going down to report on the storm through Thursday. So starting tomorrow night, all day Wednesday and Thursday, so that everybody can get up to date information. I will be able to keep getting updates from the mayor and other folks that are down there, and the fire chief, and whoever can give us information about what's going on Fort Myers Beach. She is flying out of here. I think here. Yeah, she's flying out of RSW. So, I mean, to have the Tampa airport closed and not RSW is kind of weird, although the storm looks like it's headed up there first. So I guess I get it. But I think she'll find out tomorrow. Do we know if you're still... She says Tampa's closing at 9, but somebody's posted that Orlando. Okay. Well, for now, right? Are you hiding behind the door there? Yes. All right, everybody. That's it for tonight. So we'll be back on tomorrow, and I'll be on Fox News Radio with Michael Pelka, the guest host, tomorrow at 6:05, 7:05, and 8:05 for updates for the radio station on what's going on here on Fort Myers Beach and elsewhere, because they asked today for me to do some storm reporting. So we'll be doing that tomorrow. And then tomorrow night, we'll be live from Fort Myers Beach. So thanks a lot for everything. Keep an eye on our Facebook page. If anything comes up that's new, that's needs to be updated, it'll all be posted there. And we appreciate you guys sharing the page. We're up over 110,000 followers as of today. So that's pretty cool. And we'll make sure that all the information is accurate and keep it flowing through the next few days. There is no newsletter tomorrow because Mr. Milton is the news for the next few days. Thanks a lot. See you tomorrow.